Hi there, welcome back. Well, this is definitely a two-part video, possibly a three. This is to do with purples and greens and that beautiful like a muted pinky taupey colour there, and this gorgeous, I want to call it pale sagey green colours. I love these faux leathers and I desperately want to try and incorporate them into this collection of videos. So the moulds. We've got this mould. This is a tray mould. It's rectangular. It's got the lip. We've also got this beautiful honeybee pot, lidded pot. Now, one thing to say about that is the lid to that pot, even when it's cured, is a little bit smaller than you expect it to be. So it's not a real tight fit. Also got this beautiful mould here. This is called a boat-shaped bowl. It's gorgeous. Never used it before. First time using it. So can't wait to crack on and use it. Also got this beautiful leaf mould as well, like a maple leaf mould. So without further ado, and the apothecary jar mould, we're going to show you what's happening. So this is me. I'm doing the demo in this one, in these videos. Just quickly cleaning out the mould. I am surprised at how much debris and hairs and fluff and goodness knows what attaches itself to these moulds, even when, as you saw, this one was still in the packaging. So quick clean out there, let it dry off. Just having a little, just making, this is me. This, the reason why you've got nothing happening at the moment is because I'm just deciding how I'm going to go about this. Now, I knew I wanted to use purple and green, but not really dark, bright purple. I also knew I wanted to use a mixture of aquacast and regular epoxy resin. So, here we go. Gonna do the boat-shaped bowl mode first. Mold even, sorry, first. And here we go. Yes, it's me. It's a little bit of gold, a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of glitter, maybe. Maybe not. That would be a shock. But look at this. So this is the gold leaf. Now this is gold leaf. Now these tweezers have been in the wars a bit. They're the ones I always tend to try and use for gold leaf because gold leaf gets everywhere. So this is quite happily just sticking to the mould. I'm just doing it every which way and wherever. No particular rhyme or reason as to why I'm placing it where I'm placing it, but it all just sticks to the mould quite well. Now I'm going in with a small brush. This is actually a makeup brush, not one I use for my makeup, but this is a makeup brush. And you can see just brushing it there onto the silicone mould, it really burnishes on well onto it. So just taking off a little bit of that there to move over because I don't want too much in one place. Now you will see me, although I, with best intentions, think I've got enough gold on there. When I demold it, I realise I have to make some adjustments to the piece. But you'll see that a bit later on in the video. So this is just me now then going over the rest of this mould, burnishing it on, and this was it. I thought this is enough. Enough is enough. Is enough. And yeah, just need to turn it back the right way round. There we are. It's quite a stiff mould, but it's sturdy. It's very, very sturdy. Now you can see a black hair there already. Let's just get rid of that one. And yeah, just looking, making sure you can see. Yeah, is it everywhere I want it to be? Yes, it is. There we are. So there's that one done. All done. Now moving on to the tray. I want this. This is a rectangle. It's a narrow rectangular tray with the lip up the edge, the sides. And I'm just going to do exactly the same thing as I've done with that boat-shaped bowl. I'm going to pop the gold leaf. So obviously this is faux gold. It's not real. I mean, you know, if your budget allows you to stretch to real gold leaf, then go for it. Go for it. But ours doesn't. So we tend to stick to this, which is the faux gold leaf. There we go. So just popping it down there. Luckily enough, this is not like the chameleon flakes that you've seen us use, which just fly absolutely everywhere. I don't know why we don't get that effect with this, but we just don't. We just don't. So there we are. It's just applying itself. It just likes to stick to the mould. And then we're going to use the brush again and I'm going to burnish it on really well onto the surface of that silicone mould. There we are, using the brush again, brushing it all over really thoroughly. And then once I'm happy that I've got all the gold on that I want on, I'm just going to get rid of that little hair there. Honestly, they just get everywhere. That is one of the perils of having dogs and cats. But there we are, all burnished on nicely, quite a lot on there. I did think maybe too much at this point, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Now, Aquacast. I love this product. It's made by Elichem. You can source it direct with them or you can purchase it via Amazon. Totally up to you which way you do it. As usual, everything that we've used in today's video will be linked in the description box. Unfortunately, we don't have any discount codes for you, but we will be approaching some of the manufacturers of brands that we use to see if they are prepared to give us discount codes for you. Who knows? Fingers crossed, everyone. So there we go. I've mixed in. I always like to add the water to the powder, which is what I've done there. I think I used about 600 grams. And I'm trying to the life of me to remember how much that is in water. Can't remember. But follow the instructions for whichever brand you use. Follow the mixing ratio. Now, this is me now whisking it in. This is my bigger bowl because obviously I was using a lot more in this particular project. There we go. Thoroughly mixed. There's no lumps. It doesn't take a lot of effort to mix this in. I haven't ever needed to sieve it either, which is great. And it's usually quite white. Now I know some of the eco resins aren't. When they cure, they're a sort of creamy colour. But yeah, we've got lovely deep green to use and this purple. So wait for it. Wait till you see this resin. Now, the colour pigments I'm using are specifically for eco resin. They're by by J Diction because it's supposed to be for Resincrete. I have used Resincrete. It's nice to use, but it's not my favourite. So here we go. What we've done first of all, I've put a couple of little drops of the purple in just to see how it colours it overall. So it's given it, well, we've got an off-white colour now. Just mixing in some more. So it's a couple more drops went in. So we've got the palest of, I don't know what colour you'd call that, to be honest. Violet? I don't know. It's white with a hint of purple. Anyway, so now we're going in. So this is our base colour, and then we're going in with the green. Lovely. Love that green. And then we're going in with some more of the purple. Beautiful. A few drops of that. I am also going to put some white in. So the white's coming up. Here we go. So this is the white. Now the white is made by a different company. Colour Fun, I believe it's got on the front of it. I've used it before. I really like it. Now all I'm doing is this time I'm using the whisk. Now normally I use a coffee stir stick, but I thought I'd use the whisk just to see what happens with that. Now look at that. If only it would come out and like that and stay like that. Now I thought it was maybe a bit too mixed in, so I've added in some more drops of colour. My God, I was being really ambitious and brave. More of the green. Wow. I really went for it with this. And look, a bit more of the white. I didn't bother with drops there. And I'm going in again with the whisk. Now, of course, you can use a coffee stir stick if you prefer to use that, if you feel a bit more comfortable using that. Now then, that looks lovely. So, just putting that to one side, we've got the oblong or rectangle shaped tray, and I'm going to pour this in now. Now, starting at one end, just going up and down, slow and steady. And then just letting it settle, letting it find its own level, and then adding more in if you need to add more in. Just giving it a little bit of a tap on the sides. Don't forget, Do a bit of the old tappy wappy. Agitate the mould slightly. Now you'll lose some of the marbling pattern when you do that anyway, but you do need to do it. I would recommend doing it with all eco resins, and it's just to ensure that it is out to the sides of the mould, and so any little bubbles that do form on the surface of your piece there, you can of course just lightly blow across the surface of it, and they will disappear. Alternatively, you can take very carefully and very lightly take a stir stick and just drag it across the top, but very carefully across and smoothly across the top, and it will smooth out the surface of your piece there. So here we have the boat mould, boat shaped mould, even say that properly. I'm just filling it up there. It must have been on a slightly uneven surface there, so just realizing that it's not quite covering that bit of faux gold there. So just waited, giving it a bit of a jiggle and a wiggle. Do love that. Jiggle wiggle, tappy wappy, as it were. And it has covered up slightly. Look at those lovely colours. The way the purple, the mauve, the lilac, the green and the white all mixed together is gorgeous. Lovely marbling effect. But obviously we'll see what the marbling effects are like once these pieces have cured. So put those to one side. And we've got this lovely little heart-shaped mould, which you will probably seen in a previous video where Wayne did the beautiful window wall decorative piece, window hanging decorative piece. I can't say that properly, forgive me. And we had some leftover epoxy resin, and we thought we'd use this lovely little heart-shaped trinket dish to use up that resin with the flowers, and it was gorgeous. So that was to hand, so I used that and I filled it up a bit just to see what we would get. So a little bit of a bonus there in this video, because I didn't plan to have this in this collection, but always make sure you've got some moulds to hand. I still had some left. Now this is not a miniature skull, it's skull. It's a small skull, but it's not the miniature ones that you've seen us. If you've been on our website, you'll have seen some in key rings that we've done with leftover resin. This is, I would say, double that size, maybe 2.5 times the size of those. So this would be rather big for a key ring. Is just more really a decorative piece, but it's a skull. I know it's not everybody's choice and taste, but I actually quite like some of these skulls. I think mainly because they're not creepy and they look quite beautiful with some of the ways we've managed to use glitter and different types of epoxy resin and mica powders and things. So sorry about that clip just before this one where you saw my arm in most of it. But here we go. Now this was the demold. So this was 2 hours later. Please excuse the slightly chaoticness of my craft space area. There wasn't a lot of room to do this. And yes, that's a big sneak preview of the part 2 video that you can see around there. But I'm not going to talk any more about those. You're going to have to hit the notification bell and make sure you watch part 2 video, which will be coming up in a few days after this one. So just carefully demolding this piece, because although eco resin is quite strong when it's cured, sometimes it's not. I hadn't used this mould before, so I wasn't 100% certain as to how this was going to react, how it was going to be to remove it from the mould, and I didn't want it to break. And look at that, wowzers. I love that. Now, when I looked inside the mould, I realised it hasn't actually picked up all the gold leaf, but it has got quite a bit in there. Now, we've got something going on that side. Now, you've got gaps. That's where the gold leaf was and hasn't come out. It stayed in the mould. Now, unfortunately, you're going to get that with some of these eco resins. They don't always pick up the gold leaf very well. I had the similar thing happen with this beautiful rectangle shaped tray. Demolding was an absolute breeze, by the way. As you can see there, I've just shown you the mould, and some of the gold leaf is still stuck on it. Obviously that comes off, a little bit of a mild detergent, bit of warm soapy water, and it will come off. And then obviously dry the mould off and put them back in their bags or however you store your moulds to use again. And this is this little heart-shaped trinket bowl. Again, this isn't a massive bowl, it'll fit in the palm of your hand. But it's just nice to have, nice as a little gift. Yeah, just a nice little gift really. And because this has come out quite pale, I mean, there are a few little bits of darker purple and mauve in it. We've got a few little holes, unfortunately, as well. I'm going to bling it up a bit because, you know, why not? So here is a bit of a flyover shot, an aerial shot of what we've made. So we've got the oblong tray, we've got the boat-shaped mould, we've got the skull demoulded and the little heart-shaped tray. Now, as with everything that you have used aquacast or eco resin for, you usually need to sand down some of it, finish off some edges, and then seal it. Now, I was very aware of the fact that, you know, we've got some bits missing off of all of these pieces in the way of gold leaf. And although I like the skull, he's a bit boring, bless him. He's a little bit boring. Could do with a bit of a sand down. And maybe some gold leaf, why not? Let's go for it. So, let's start with, so I'm just reaching across there and I'm actually going to use, I'm going to use some emery boards on these. And it just means I've got control over the small area that I want to sand. So I've started with the heart-shaped trinket bowl. And we're literally just sanding down all the edges here. So just gentle, light motions, normal sanding. These are nail files or emery boards. Obviously, if you've got some fine grade sandpaper, then just use that. You can wait till the following day as well, until the piece is completely air dried, and then do it. But I always tend, as long as you're gentle, you should be okay. I tend to do it a couple of hours after, you know, they've cured, which is what I'm doing here. So I'm just smoothing down the base of this heart-shaped trinket pot or bowl before I decide what I'm going to do. And obviously, if you've seen the thumbnail, you know I'm going to bling it up with a bit of gold leaf. Because why not? Why not? Of course, you don't have to do that. You can just leave it as it is and use whatever sealant you normally use, whether it's one by Edichem, whether it's one by J. Diction, or if you use the wax. Now, I personally haven't used the wax before. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure about using the wax. But that's just me. Let me know in the comments if you've ever used the wax as a sealant. Does it give a waterproof seal? You know, like a wipe over waterproof. Because obviously with eco resin pieces, you shouldn't really be submerging them in water. Yeah. Because, you know, after a certain amount of time, they're not going to be able to take on any more water. And I don't want you to put something in whole to wash it and then take it out and it's just mush, you know, or it's dissolved into the water. Anyway, so onto the rectangle shaped tray, and I'm just going over the edges of the mold of the piece itself. Also looking at the side of this boat-shaped bowl. Now this is definitely where we had the gold leaf, the faux gold leaf on the mould itself. Now you could apply, now bearing in mind none of these have been sealed yet either, so what you could do is you could apply the gilding. If you want to apply gilding glue, let it go tacky and then apply gold leaf or gold, you know, onto it, like sort of like what I'm doing now. Or I wanted a quick solution, and it's not cheating, but I wanted a quick solution, so I'm actually using the equivalent of super glue. Now go careful if you're using glue, particularly if it's like this, which is a type of super glue. This bonds within moments, not even seconds, and it bonds usually. So I'm putting some on. I'm literally just the glue on. I'm then literally just applying the gold foil flake, the gold foil flake, and then just rubbing over it quickly with my gloved hand. Now, a certain amount of it did get on my glove, a certain amount of it got on the tweezers, as you can see. This is why I've got one set of tweezers, to be honest. One, maybe two sets of tweezers that I only ever use for this sort of process, because they get covered, get covered in gold leaf. Right, so I was happy with the boat-shaped mould, or bowl even, not mould, bowl. And now I'm thinking, right, what am I going to do with this heart? So I just poured in the glue and then applied the gold leaf. There we are, applying the gold leaf. Now, if you have got, now we have got some multicoloured, colours, lots of different colours actually, of this foil leaf, faux foil leaf. I can't remember if we've got any in the real deep purple, striking purple colour, but if you have that and you apply that to this, again, absolutely stunning. Would look absolutely stunning. But here I am, just applying some gold leaf to this heart-shaped trinket bowl. Just blinging it up a little bit, you know. Of course, it's totally up to you what you do. You could put a nice little coordinating PET sticker maybe in the bottom, stick it down. Obviously, if you're going to do that, what I would then do is apply a very, very thin, like millimetre thin coat of epoxy resin just to seal it into place. So here you go, we're just smoothing on that gold leaf. I'm using a silicone tipped tool here, just to almost like burnish it on, I suppose, to the pot. Now, yes, it does going to stick to the silicone tip, but it does come off, which is good. It does actually come off. So I've stuck a bit on the inside there. Quite happy actually, because it follows in with the same sort of theme as the rectangle shaped tray and also that lovely bowl that we've made. So look at that. It is just about, yeah, it looks quite good. I do go on to apply some more and also some to the outside as well, just so it's cohesive. It blends, it coordinates. So this is me. I've applied the rest of it. I've applied a little bit to the outside there. You go, look, I'm showing you now. Not bothering to put any on the base. There's absolutely no point whatsoever. And now I'm also going to do to this little skull. And he's going to have the same treatment. So here he is with some gold leaf applied. Just gives it that little extra something, a bit like with the heart-shaped bowl. So this would make quite a quirky little decor piece, you know, if skulls are your thing. Appreciate, as I said, they're not everybody's thing. But I thought this was lovely. Anyway, here we are in the final shot. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget, this is only part 1 of 2 videos so far, although there might even be a third that we're currently working on. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe button, get that notification bell going, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.